Hello everyone! In this video, we are going to look at children language development. Please remember that this is language development in general, focusing on the development of children's first language. Although the focus is on first language development, we can later actually learn about learning of second or foreign language. In this video, we are going to look at 4 phases of language development, namely infancy, early childhood, middle childhood, and adolescence. Let us start with the infancy phase. Now, these are the stages that infants experience related to language development. Sounds stage, hollow phrases, and telegraphic speech. Newborn babies are not yet able to communicate verbally using words, but this does not mean that they do not communicate. They communicate non-verbally using visual conversations through their eye contact with their mother or others around him or her. Around the age of 2 months, babies start to be able to communicate using sounds by cooing using vowels, then babbling using strings of consonants, da da da, ga ga ga, for example. Now about 7 months, their babbling starts to sound more like language. Babies' first words usually appear at the age of first year. They have the intonation and other sound patterns of the child's native language. Gestures are another pre-linguistics element that appear at the end of first year. The use of gesture is important because it is a sign that children understand language before even being able to understand it. So for children, understanding a language precedes or comes before they can produce the language. The first words that children use are usually still limited to simple pronunciation or things that are familiar or important to them. Also concrete objects or important people, like the words mom or milk. Now, when they use single words to communicate something, then they have reached the hollow phrases stage. For example, they say milk if they want some milk. Infants at the end of their second year develop their vocabulary quickly. They also start to combine 2 words in their utterances. For example, they would say more milk if they want some more milk. They tend to modify one keyword to communicate different meanings. For example, the keyword is milk and they modify them becomes want milk, no milk, or milk gone. So those are what happens, or those are the language development in the infancy phase. Let us now proceed to the second phase, which is the early childhood phase. These are some of their language development features. Children at the middle childhood phase can start uttering short sentences. They start with the ability to say 3-word sentences. But as time goes by, they are able to utter more complex or longer sentences. However, since they are still exploring saying the language, there are usually some errors that they make. They are overextension, underextension, or over-regularization. Examples of these can be found in the book. Let us now move to the third phase, which is the early childhood phase. I mean the middle childhood phase. And these are some of their language development features. Now, children at this phase, they have uttered complex sentences, more complex than those of the early childhood phase. By the time they start school, they have complete language development. They have greater use and understanding of abstract words and constructions. They keep on developing vocabulary. They have metalinguistic awareness. Metalinguistic awareness is awareness of their own language. They understand their own language and their system. And sometimes they can become pedantic, in which they are playing with the words and maybe for teasing people. The next stage or phase is the adolescent phase. And these are the stages or what they learn in this stage. Adolescents can produce more complex sentences. This is because they have greater opportunity to acquire specific language forms and practices, and they start to navigate through academic language. In the final schooling year, they have the vocabulary of their native language or the first language up to 50,000 words. And adolescents can create more complex sentences because they can add connectives, prefixes and suffixes, syntax variation, and also cohesive devices in their language use. On top of that, adolescence has development of abstract thinking. They can use language for comparison, figurative speech, sarcasm, and multiple meanings. Also, there is an increase of metalinguistic awareness that they can use the language for debating, arguing, or using language to think through ideas. So as we can see here, the more thinking becomes more complex, the more language becomes complex as well. So, those are children's first language development during these 4 phases. In the next video, we are going to look at the factors that influence children's language development. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.